Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and all variations thereof. And welcome back. Welcome back, one and all, to Blender. We're here again. We're always here. This is where we always end up somehow, on a Thursday and a Wednesday. Whenever we don't have a game to play, we end up in Blender. Yeah. Today we blend. You may notice, I can't raise my arms at the moment, we haven't implemented that yet, but you may notice above me, right up there, hold on, yep, right up there, there's a little icon. Yeah, that means this stream does not feed generative AI. That icon says we do not agree with AI. That icon means that you are safe from generative AI in this chat, hopefully. We have opted out. Whether or not that sticks is still to be seen, but I have double-checked the setting 3 times at this point, so there's the hope. But yes, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. As long as you can see that little button, or that little icon up there, I'm raising my hand and pointing upwards as if that's going to do anything. As long as you can see that button up there, you should be fine. If that button disappears, you're also probably fine. I might have just forgotten to put it back at some point. However, if at some point I say, oh, we're moving off of Twitch, then you know something has happened, and I don't agree with it. Who needs AI when you have autistic people? You know, Cyborg, I agree with you. But every corporate CEO in the world does not, because that means paying people. And they would rather feed money into the wood chipper that is AI. So, yeah. But yes. Welcome, everybody. Today we blend. Yesterday we blended some doors. Today we are blending a lot of different things. Today we're doing variation. And variation, well, okay, we're not doing variation to start with. What we're actually going to start with is any little bits and pieces and details that you guys might feel could be added that I have either forgotten or I've missed or so on and so forth. But yes, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. So, this is the Rosenberg, for those of you who may be new to this project. Welcome in, Growlmaster. Thank you for the check-in. Thank you very much, my friend. Yes, this is the Rosenberg. It is a mod for Pacific Drive, or it is going to be a mod for Pacific Drive, eventually. At the moment, it is just a vehicle that is in the process of being constructed. Could AI think up RoboCop making out with Inspector Gadget while Adam Jensen watches because he's not actually a cop? You know, probably not. But I should also state that I doubt that idea would be monetizable by a big CEO. Or I doubt they would view it as being monetizable. So AI probably wouldn't get asked to think that up. Which is, it's kind of ridiculous how AI is basically being used as a crutch for people who don't have an imagination. But yes, today we are doing Blender. If you need any information in regards to the Twitch AI stuff, let me know. Very specifically, if you need information on how to turn the bloody thing off, let me know, and I will be more than happy to assist. So, I'm trying not to do this, and realizing that it's starting to annoy me more and more. Which is that this edge here is much thicker than the edges down here, and I feel like we could reduce that. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. It wouldn't take much to do it, and I know that the moment I say that... Okay, hold on. How much would it actually take to reduce that? We would essentially have to move this edge here down to this level. Which isn't impossible, actually. Let's go by vertice. I apologize to everybody who watched me remodel the same door 3 times yesterday. I'm not... This isn't intentional. Okay, grab that, lower it down to there, and then... That's not even level. Blender, what the fuck? Lower this. Down to there. Why does that not consider itself level? What the fuck? And how much is that? Okay, that's... I mean, it is a dramatic increase. Sideways, it's... No. No, I'm not gonna touch this one. That's a bad idea. I know it's a bad idea. I'm fully aware of that. And I also know that I don't like how it looks right now. But I also know that I can't do anything about it. Not without additional... Lots of extensive additional work. Have I ever heard of the French band Dionysos? As in Dionysus? The reason why I ask is because I think it may be your cup of tea. Well, I do listen to a few different French artists, so I will add that to my listening list for after the stream, Cyborg, and I'll give it a look. Okay. There are a few details for these doors that we need to make work. For example, the interior of the door is very flat and plain. That needs work. We also need to make these hinges work as well, which shouldn't be too difficult, I don't think. Oh! I recommend the album Monsters in Love. Personal favourite of yours. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. I'll look into it. I can't promise that I'll listen to it, but I will look into it. Okay. I should do the hinges before anything else. Thankfully, these I can just pull out. So, edit mode, L, 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 Shift D, key to just selection, and then edit, rotate 90 degrees. I'll move this layer to the middle of that. And that to there. Okay. And move that to there. Cool. And that should give us our hinge point. Hmm. Huh? Hmm. Oh, did I did something wrong there. Yes. Okay. And then that middle point on there. Now, question is, yeah, okay. Yeah. And that to there. Ooh. That should be fine. It's not actually poking out from the door. Object mode. We will actually copy this, paste it. This first one will go on the back door. And then the second one will go on the front door. If I can find where it's actually meant to go. Okay, here we go. X. That should be about right. Okay, cool. And that can go there. Okay. Now, is there... Right, wing mirrors on the front door. That's missing. Show me the steel doors for the base car. Hold on. Pull that out. Okay. A little bit of trim isn't going to hurt. That's definitely something that I want to incorporate. And then we need to do this stuff on the inside as well. So we'll need a roller for the window. We'll need the locking pin. Okay. Rear left. Give me rear left. Pull that out. And this one, we're also going to need a roller for the door. And we need the internal door handle. If we just pop the internal door handle as a mirror of this one, just on the inside and sticking inwards, and then have the door roller down here, that could work. And we need the little lock point as well. Yeah, okay, that's not too bad of a set of things that need to be done. The doors on the Rosenberg are actually a lot thinner than the doors on the station wagon. Like, substantially thinner, actually. The whole car is a lot less chunky, interestingly enough. Which isn't necessarily a good thing, to be honest. I also need to look at the boot. What does the boot have on it? It has space for the license plate, I think. But the license plate on the Rosenberg is going to go here, I think. Or somewhere on the bumper. I don't think I have to incorporate the license plate into the boot, though. So we should be fine on that. Although, honestly, I'm not certain I like how this boot looks. And we do still need to add the hinges in as well. That's the other thing. Okay. Let's start with the transposition of the inner handles. If we grab you, Shift D, s y minus 1 and just slide you inside, that should honestly work. Unless we want to have it inset into the door. In which case... Okay. In which case... let's grab this. But not those. Shift D. S. Y minus 1. And if we say that this goes about here, the handle on the interior, and then we have a little shelf that curves down into the door, that could work. Yeah. Okay. In that instant, let us extrude on the z-axis up 265, and then extrude again on the y-axis. Okay. This we will move forward to about here. This we will move backwards to about here. And if we have just this little shelf, and we extrude down around about here, and then hook that together. We have the back panel to that. Hook that in. Delete these edges. Actually, delete all the edges for the moment. We know where that goes. So, grab this edge, bevel, 5 segments. To about... sure, 699, why not? Okay. That gives us a little curved ledge on the inside of the door. Oh, squeaky. Delete this edge. Move this up to the middle here. Actually, where is the middle of this? Oh, it is actually relatively on point. Cool. Okay. We're gonna remove that again. And we'll give this edge a bevel as well. We'll do a 3-segment bevel. Just a very gentle one on the edge there. How does that look underneath? That looks fine. Looks like it's just merging the door. Although, what I will actually do is I'll grab these. Oh. Cool. Fine. That means I can now that inside a little. Nice. Alright. Now, we want this to look a little cushioned. So we will bevel this forward edge as well. Yeah. Let's do about 65. Perfect. Delete that edge. Then all of this. Level that with the middle. Make sure that that is level with the middle. And now connect all this together. And now we have the internal handles for the door. Or one internal handle, I should say. We'll put the roller handle up here, I think. And then I'm really tempted to just add a little pocket here. I don't think it's necessary. But additionally, I think we'll just have the same... We'll have this same thing just transposed over to this door as well. Oh. Do I feel like we need anything more? I mean, this one has more, but that's because there's electronics here. No, I don't feel like it needs anything more necessarily. However, what I will do subdivide this and subdivide these, and then extrude downwards a little. By 180. And that should provide a little pocket. And we can do a very gentle bevel on the edges of that little pocket. Or I would be able to if all the faces were correct. Or not. Apparently I'm just not allowed. Alright. I do a bevel on these edges? Yes. Okay, that'll have to do. Yeah, I can live with that. That's a little door pocket. We will copy this and move it up to about here. And let's grab this face. Scale it down a bit. Scale it longer. Shorter. And let's scale this end down a bit further. Okay. And then we extrude out 70. And bevel by 2. That. Move that back into the handle. Or the rotation point for the handle, rather. Ooh. Grab this. Scale it down. Okay. S y minus 1, so that that curve is on the back. And then this we bring down to here. Then we extrude on the y-axis and scale down down. Extrude it again. Just to give it a bit of a grip area. And then extrude it once more. Scale it up. Extrude again. And from here we'll just move it forward and bevel it. Yeah. Feels a little long. Let's just move it in. There we go. Got a little window handle, roller handle for the window. And that realistically is all that the front door should need as well. Though I may make it a little fancier. Ooh. Ah. Oh. Yep. That's my wrists. Ouchie. I don't think it needs anything else. Let's shift D that and move it forward to there. Yeah. I know it looks very small next to that, but I think that should be fine. D. Yeah, I feel that can go there. And then this edge can extend. Like that. Am I missing something on the inside here? Yes. That is what I'm missing. Yeah. I bevel that. No. I like this. But once it gets to that point, we need to figure something else out, I think. Or maybe we just leave it like that. Maybe it's just flat on the end. No, I don't like that. I do not like it being just flat on the end. That just feels like a cop-out. Okay. Let's try this. Okay. Oh. Not what I meant to do. Give this a little bit of extra curve to the end. But yes, for those of you wondering what the music is at the moment, we are listening to the Lies of P OST. Because it is an OST that is quite calming and enjoyable. Okay, cool. What's going on here? There we go. There we go. That doesn't look bad. That looks quite nice, actually. Bearing in mind that we don't need all the technical stuff that is on this. I do think we want to add that trim, though, on the outside of the door. Just to make it a little more visually nice. Okay, let's grab all of these. E. Object mode. The front door. Control J. Rid of all these duplicate materials. Oh. There, door. Right. Yeah. That looks pretty nice. Oh, right, we need the locks. I mean, we could just do the lock. Do we need a lock? Did older cars have locks? I assume they did, but I'm not actually sure that they did. I mean, why would you put a lock on a door that, generally speaking, is a convertible? Yeah, even the Aero Coupe doesn't seem to have a lock. Huh. Okay. No lock, I guess. Alright. Sure. Okay. Alright. Let's add that trim then. And then we can... Oh, no. Let's do the wing mirror first. Wing mirror is kind of important. Can I just steal this? No, that shape's not quite cool. Well... No, I could. But it's a little... no. Never mind. No. Stop it. Design a new thing. Don't keep reusing parts. Okay. Edit mode. Add a cylinder. Rotate the cylinder 90 degrees. Scale it down vastly. Okay, so if we assume that... Where does this go? It goes there. Okay. So if we assume that this would go here... and we scale it out like this. I'm half tempted to use a Bezier curve for this, but I shouldn't. There's no reason to, and it'll look better being a little more mechanical than will smooth. Dissolve these edges. Okay, this has an upwards and backwards slant. And the mirror is at an angle. So if we... this feels like it needs to be thinner. Let's scale that down a bit more. About there feels right. I feel like it... I'm suddenly tempted by a ball joint. Wait, where'd my Aero Coupe go? There it is. That was the page by accident. Okay, if we do extrusion, then rotation, then increase height, align that to there. Grab this. Yeah. Okay. All right. rotate 45 degrees. Oh, I think that was too much. There we go. 45. And bevel 5 segments. Let's do 7 segments actually. And we'll give it that curve. Oh, that's thickened it substantially. Oy. Alright. Actually, there's an easier way to do this, I just remembered. Well, I say I just remembered. I don't know about having remembered it, but, oh, well. Aren't you a perfect delight? Complete face. Right. Okay. Solidify that. Go to our point selection. Grab our spin. Right. Spin is down there. Shift S for cursor to selected. We are going on the x-axis. And we want our cursor to be a little higher up. Oops. Cursor to selected. Let's move that up. Now we grab the spin. Yeah, okay. That should be about right. And now put that there. And spin again. Whoa. Okay, maybe not quite there. How about there? While that is a fun thing to do, no, I don't think that's gonna work. But this does mean that we can move this in to about there. I also feel like it is still a bit large, but maybe that's just me. Pop that to there. Rotate by 25 degrees. There we go. As much as I appreciate this one, Liza P, I don't feel like I'm fighting a boss right now, so I'm good. I'm gonna switch up some soundtrack. What do I like? How about this? Sure. That'll do. I do quite like the Lamplighters League theme. Okay. Now. That goes to about there. And let's try a very... Oops. Very quick spin. That looks like it's about right. And then... Okay. And delete these vertices. And that gives us our mount point for our mirror. This mirror is quite large, so let's go for something about the same size, but round. Okay. And in fact, let's start with this. Oop. There we go. Bum, 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 bum. I never did finish playing Lamplighters League, even in my off time. I was planning to. And then I forgot. Okay. This seems to be facing forward, so let's do an extrude on the x-axis. And then let's scale it to about there. Just to give us a bit of a connection point. And then we will extrude again. And that'll be our mirror face. And that needs to get scaled as well. How big is that mirror? A little bit bigger than that, I think. There? Yeah, a little bit larger. There. And then we extrude on the x-axis. Go. And then this back panel we bevel. Bevel, bevel, bevel. 3 segments. Oop. Ooh. Right. One. I can scale that back in, right? Why is it scaling weird? I don't know. If I do that. Yeah, that's fine. Huh. Interesting. It's scaling... That is weird. Why is it doing that? I guess this is slanted and this isn't. Hold on. SX0. Oh. Oh. Oh, I see. I understand. Alright. SX0. Okay. And let's make sure that this section here is also aligned. There we are. Ooh. SX0. There we go. Okay. Now this should bevel fine. I mean, it was beveling fine earlier, but the scaling was not working as intended. Okay. Bevel. Right. And now we scale to about here, I think. Move this back. There we are. Then select this face. And we do a very small bevel here as well. Move that backwards. Select the interior face. And move that in. And scale it down a bit. And voila, we have a wing mirror. Sort of. Not entirely finished yet. It's a little bit more work. Okay. I'm pressing the wrong button. Okay. We want... don't want these. The rest we do. I believe that is everything. So now we rotate that by 25 degrees. We move it in. That feels wrong. That feels wrong. Because I just realized that we have a better rotation point. Yeah. Get me out of the engine. Out there. I think. Or is there a better one? Yeah, there's a slightly better one. There. That one. Okay. Rotate. 30 degrees? No, 25. Okay, now move that. Into there. Yeah. That works, I think. I mean, I know you can't see it from in there, but... and it's not as large as the wing mirrors on the station wagon. But that's kind of the point. Although, honestly, maybe I will just increase them scale-wise. Scale them up a little bit. Yeah. Pull it out. Push it to about there. Yeah, that feels more usable, I'm gonna say. I don't know if it's perfect, but, you know, that's how it be. The interior looks fine as well. I'm not certain about this window being so large. I feel like we could add a bar here. Sort of cuts that in half a little bit, like we have at the back. I don't know if that would obstruct the driver's view too much, though. Because you can see out the window. You're mainly looking out here, but you can... And this one gives you a little bit more visibility than this one does, actually, so... Maybe we can add something in. Something like this. No. If I add it in, I'll have to add it in now. Because we're going to end up using these doors as the base template for all the doors in the future. Ugh. Decisions, decisions. Chat, help. Help, help. Tell me what to do. Tell me how to figure this out. For I am but one singular mad creator. And I do not know. I do not know where I'm going with all of this. What is it? Okay, so I'm trying to make a decision. I feel like this front window is a little too large. Now, this is the front window on the standard station wagon. Surprisingly, we are a lot longer than this. Surprisingly, all the windows are a lot longer. Don't know quite how well, I guess they're not longer, they're just shorter. But what I'm thinking is adding a dividing rod into this window around about here. Similar to what the Duesenberg Aero Coupe has. Hold on, let me bring up the display capture. Similar to this sort of thing. So it has a window here, but then it has this little additional sort of divider section towards the front. And I'm thinking of doing that. But I am uncertain if that would look good. Or if I'd even be... Yeah, I don't know. That's the thought. I mean, realistically, I can just grab this bar at the back, probably. And then just move it forward. I wouldn't imagine that would be too difficult. Because it isn't a complicated piece. They are a thing, wing windows to let air in without opening the main window. Yes, that is true. But also, I wouldn't be using it as a wing window. I would just be using it as like a spatial divider, because you can't open the windows in Pacific Drive. That was a feature of many cars in the 1930s. Fair point. Also, hi, Agent Sinister. Welcome in. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. It was something that cars did have back in the day. So maybe it's not the worst idea to pop it in. Even if it's just aesthetic. It doesn't need to line up exactly, I don't think. Bring that up. Like that. And then this lower section can be extruded down. Extrude on Z. Move out the middle section there. That doesn't look too bad. Okay, we'll give this a very slight rotation. About there. Yeah. That looks... I like it. I like it. I am admittedly just procrastinating the trim. You can make it more triangular if you don't want it to take up so much space. I think this should be fine, to be honest, because it gives the player visual out there. So I think that should be fine. We do need to edit the window so that it will close neatly. We will subdivide these two. So that these points can be aligned. Not quite an alignment, but fine. Grab this. Grab that. Align that. Yeah. Just very gentle. Right. Okay. Link that into there. And that into there. Merge by distance. And then we need to do 4 up here as well. Subdivide. Subdivide. Okay. There's that point. That needs to line up with that. And this needs to line up with that. That to there. That to there. I'm not worrying about being particularly precise right now. I will worry about that later. Okay. Come on. Okay. By distance, 4 vertices. Nice. Right, that should give us the ability to seal up the window without any further problems. Fingers crossed. Oop. There we go. And then this edge. That. And that to there. Cool. That to there. And a little bit more. Seal that one. And this should mean that the internal and external window faces should be done and dusted. And with that, no, we still need to do the trim. We still need to do the trim. But that does look nice. I will agree that that looks a lot nicer. Right. Now we need the trim. So the trim is going to follow these same lines. It's just going to be about halfway down the door. It's going to drop, bounce, and then curve down. So what we need to do, realistically, is grab this and copy it, and then slide it down. I think to about the halfway point should be about right. What the? Okay, that to there. Actually, that feels a little low. That felt about right. Okay. So, if we then extrude on the z-axis by 200. We can, there we go, 200. And we dissolve. No, if we dissolve all of these, it'll just be weird. Okay, if we grab all of these points. Oops. Oh, is there nothing there? Or is that... No, that's slightly melded into the thing, isn't it? Hold on, let's just grab it all. What am I thinking? Okay. And then we extrude out by 100. Come on, give me a round number. E Z no, not Z, Y 0.001. That's rotation. E Y 0.001. 0.01. Okay, cool. Then we bevel this to create the trim. And we bevel at one segment to create this sort of style. Well, unless, of course, the faces aren't normalized, in which case, well, fuck me, I guess. Okay. Right, now we bevel. And let's do about, you know what, let's do the funny number, 69 on the trim. And that works nicely, I think. We may want to reduce the height on this a little bit. Otherwise it looks like it's poking out a little bit too far. So if we move this in, yeah, flatten it out a little. 23 should do. And then grab the whole thing and slide it into the door. And then, yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Obviously, like, it's not fully in place, but doesn't look too bad. And then that'll stretch over to here, and on this side it'll slide down. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. All do nicely. This end we will extrude. And as we're extruding, we will also have it slowly mesh. So actually what we'll do is we'll scale the end down as it meshes in. So that it looks like it's fading into the door itself. Yeah. And then this end we will Shift D to copy, SX-1 to flip, what have I grabbed there? Oh no, it's just the mirrored version, right. And then this will be level with that. Now, this means that the trim, at least this end of the trim, needs to scale inwards a bit. So if we say to about here, And this section of the trim will have to split in half. So subdivide. But I also need the under section. Those, yes. Subdivide. Okay. Double tap G. Line that up with there. And same here. These two. We slide. Bugger. Slide to there. Like that. And then everything here. I think we split. I can just do that actually. And we'll hide that to see what we have left. So this, delete the edges there. Delete these edges. Damn it. Give me the parts I want. There we go. Okay, cool. Now, that is going to be part of the body. And we'll eventually need to have something here. This we can just move forward to align that. Okay. Yeah. And as for these pieces here, I think if I just grab these, Shift D, S, Z -1, then SX -1, should just be able to snap those together, I think. Oh, but I've waylaid my entire selection for some reason. That as well, please. Okay. Shift D, SZ -1, SX -1. Okay. And then that aligns to there. And this section needs to be divided in half. So all of these I should just be able to grab these because, yeah, subdivide that. And then everything on this side, we press P and we remove from that selection. This we will move forward to there. That we will move forward to there, or backwards to there rather. This we will move there, and this we will also move to there. And that should mean that I can take these and delete them. Cool. And that gives us our trim for our doors. We will very quickly merge these and then move to a different selection. Door 03 goes to the back door, like that. Ow. And doors 01 and 02 go to the chassis. Yeah. Actually, we don't want to merge those in quite yet, because that means a lot of other irritating stuff is going to happen. But, honestly, the trim doesn't look bad. I like it. What I'm trying to figure out right now is whether, once the trim is in, we'll be ready to start variating. And I'm not entirely certain on that, actually. Well, we can give it a go anyway. Alright, you. Edit. Okay. Remove the chassis. I want to be able to see these. There we are. Okay. Pop that into existence. Now, move that to line up. Like that. And you've got those little bits of spacing, which, to be quite honest, we could probably just bevel to make look a little nicer. Actually, I don't think I will. I think I'll just leave those as is. That is probably going to come back to bite me later, but oh well. There we go. B. I'm just wondering if I should have stretched these out to this internal edge and then beveled. Yeah, the running board is a feature a lot of older cars have, so I wanted to make sure to include it. I'm not sure if I've extended it a little too far, but I do know that we're going to put racks here, like storage racks here on the side, and then storage racks here on this back window. So we'll be moving some stuff around, because in the station wagon on Pacific Drive, on the station wagon in Pacific Drive, rather, the storage racks both go on the back window, and the back window is very long. We don't have that here, so I'm having to move some stuff around. We also have storage racks on the roof. Those are in already, or I've already adjusted them, I should say. That's actual storage. Where's the... is it utilities? No. Cosmetics? No. Internal? Might be internal. Yeah, roof racks. There we go. That's what the roof racks look like at the moment. Which I'm pretty happy with, to be honest. I've done very little to modify them, to be fair. But I think the roof racks look pretty decent. A lot of vintage cars did have storage racks on the boot lid. However, I don't believe that I can make that work. So I am not going to try. Because obviously the boot in Pacific Drive can open. But that means that if I mount a storage rack to the boot lid, the storage rack has to follow the same animation. And then you get into the further part of anything that is mounted to that storage rack has to follow the same animation as well. I don't want to make too much work for myself at the end of the day. Like, I'm already putting way too much effort into this project that I realistically ever should have. I don't want to put any more in. I'm already so tired. I'm already exhausted. I don't want to do any more. But yes, so I do know, but I also know that even I have my limits on how much I'm willing to do. Like, you saw me earlier with being like, can I adjust this edge? The answer is probably yes, I could. It would just take a while, and I don't have that effort and energy in me. Yeah. That's all it is at the end of the day, but forgive me, I'm used to physical Warhammer models where the moving parts do not move. Yeah, that is entirely fair, Agent Sinister. That is entirely fair. But yeah, no, I have to, when I'm designing this vehicle, I don't just have to account for how pretty it might look. I also have to count for all the parts that move, which there are so many parts that move on this car. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, The boot moves. The doors move. The hood moves. The doors move. The boot moves. The wheels move. Like, and then when you get inside as well, there's machines on the inside that move. And the steering wheel moves. And the gear shifter moves. And the suspension moves as well. And I have to figure that out. Because I moved the suspension. So I have to figure out how to make the suspension move. Which is... Oy, it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. You know what? I think I can live with not beveling the edges of those. I think I can live with that. Okay. This and this go into that. And thusly, we have the trim. Honestly, that looks fine. I don't mind that. If we do this... Wait, where'd the back door go? Hold on. Oh, there it is. I'm blind, apparently. Okay. Back door, front fender, rear fender. And we shade auto smooth. Yeah, it needs a little bit of work. It needs triangulating to start with. But this is closer to what it would look like in-game. Let me hide those doors. This is closer to what it would look like in-game. These are just being caused by little bits of triangulation. That shouldn't be a major issue in the long run. But all of that sort of jagged geometry that you guys have been seeing, that is not going to be a thing. Although I should do this properly. There we go. Now you can see the hood as well. It's nice and smooth. The boot is nice and smooth. That actually looks a lot better. Honestly, that looks really nice. But yeah. Eventually this is where we're heading. We're not there yet, obviously, but you know what? It's fine. We will get there one day. Okay. Right. I think we are good to start variating. I think the doors are about... Okay, I was about to say I think the doors are about done. I think there's one more thing I can actually do to the doors. And that is just to bevel the inner lower edge. Because actually that feels somewhat important. So we'll just get rid of that and bevel that edge. So if we do Control B 0.0035 for that edge. Oh. Okay, maybe not quite that big. Control B 0.0035. 2, 1, 5, 1. Oh, that's why it's doing that. I'm blind. Okay. Control B 0.0025? 35? Let's do 35. 35 is usually where it sits nicely. How's that? Is that good? Yeah, that looks good. Oh, and we need to do the internal hinge sections as well. I forgot about that. I knew there was something I was going to end up forgetting. Okay. Cool. Grab this surface. And Control B 0.0035. Cool. Is this? Yes, that's fine. What was it? Hinges. Hinges. Hey, Tech Priest. Welcome in. Welcome in. Oh. Oh. Ow. Sorry. I just straightened myself up for the first time in 2 hours, and that really fucks with my spine. I'm gonna go open a window. It's so fucking warm. I hope it's cooled down outside. Okay. The ambient temperature outside is only very slightly lower than my room temperature, but it is lower. So I'll take that as a win. Oh, God. Oh, what a world we live in. What a world we live in. These parts here are unnecessary and can go, I think. Yeah. And we'll do the same on that one. What was I doing? Shit. I've forgotten. I don't remember. Hinges! God damn. Okay. Let's G on the Y 1. Pop that out like that. And then internally, okay. Internally, what we need to do is I'm not certain, but I think all we really need to do is grab this segment and move it. Yeah, I think that's all we really need to do. But that is not precise on the vertical. And honestly, you could probably do with moving all of this as well. Actually, no, yeah. Yeah, all of this internal section can be moved. And yes, everyone should indeed stay hydrated, especially in these times of horror and heat. No, I preferred what we had earlier, honestly. I think just moving this is enough. Can't move it all the way. If we grab our hinge connection points, pop them out like that. Y -1. That door back into place. I mean, it's not like anybody's ever gonna see how messed up the hinges realistically are. So I don't mind that. And on this end, yeah, I can't be bothered. It's fine. It's fine. Realistically, nobody is going to go looking for hinge problems in a free mod. Like, if those hinges look from a distance like they work, it doesn't matter. It's fine. If I was building this vehicle for a video game, I would probably have more of a qualm about it, but as it stands, I do not. As it stands, no qualms. No qualms. Okay. I think I can safely call those doors complete in that case. Alright. Let's slide the doors, front door, boot, back door, down into the steel folder. Because the steel doors are the basis for everything else in the game. Okay. We will apply the mirror on both of these. Then, in edit mode, this side will be a selection out, and then to the back door. This side, where I've got everything, will be a selection out as well. Okay. Right. Now, let's see. This door is front left, merges down into the front left door. This door is rear left. We merge this down into the rear left door. This door is front right. We merge this down into the front right door. This door is rear right. We merge that down into the rear right door. this is the boot. We merge that down into the trunk door. Okay. Right. Now, that's a lot of dummy materials. Which is quite worrying, because there should be a bunch of non-dummy materials in here. Okay. Do you have... Oh gods, you're all dummy materials. Oh god. Alright. Well, aren't you gonna be problematic? What about the junk doors? You have door junk metal and door junk basic. But then... Okay, well, that's... great. I don't know what all these dummy materials are meant to be. Because for some reason the doors have exported without that information. Which doesn't help. Okay. Okay. Fine. Edit this. Show me this. This is dummy material 7. Okay. This is door steel basic. This is also door steel basic. Also that. That is dummy material 3. That is dummy material 0. That's dummy material 2. That's dummy material 0. Oh my god, why? Okay. Where has all the information on these materials gone, Blender? Maybe it's not even Blender that's caused this problem. I honestly don't know. I'm gonna need to query Dutch on this one. Because I'm not certain if this is what it normally does, or... I will query Dutch about that, and hopefully they will be able to get back to me eventually. For now, I'm not going to worry about materials. For now, I will just... Wait, if I see the shading... Oh gods, okay. Okay, that's... interesting on all sorts of levels. Alright. This door is entirely different to every other door. Wonderful. Alright. In that case, you can go. I should be doing this by vertices. Okay. Front right. Delete vertices. Hey, Brobe. Welcome in. Yes, we are blending today. It is a time, that's for sure. Eventually, we will triangulate all of our blending things, but for now we simply blend. Okay, edit mode, this, delete vertices. Back to object mode, rear right, edit, delete vertices. Back to object mode, trunk, edit, delete vertices. You refuse to upgrade your Blender. I have Blender through Steam, so my Blender upgrades automatically. Which I don't mind, to be honest, because I don't know how good it was before. But yes, today we are modding a car. Or I should say, we are designing a car to mod a game. And the game we are planning to mod is Pacific Drive. So yeah, that's what we're doing at the moment. Which, yeah, it's a thing. Okay, so these are all our steel car parts, componented in, with all the internals as well. I got it through their website. I'm using version 2.7 and will not go higher. To me, the UI is disgusting and I hate how they made it similar / the same as Max and Maya. I'm pretty sure you can alter that, Probe. Like, I haven't looked into it, but I'm pretty certain you can alter the UI. Yeah. Okay. So, this is steel. Now, we want junk. Our junk parts need dents. The car is looking amazing. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I only have a total of 202 hours in Blender. And most of it was spent on this car. Before then, I think I had about 5. So I've spent about 190 hours in Blender just on this. What's my total poly count? God knows. The answer is it's not currently totaled. Realistically, my total poly count does not currently exist because I have not triangularized everything. The moment I triangularize everything, the poly count is going to go from reasonable to ridiculous. So, yeah. Okay. We also need to do the steel versions of these eventually. Not going to worry about that right now, though. Okay. Door, junk, basic, front, left. Pop that out. Edit mode. Door, junk, basic, front, right. Door, junk, basic, rear left. I mean, I don't know what you mean by triangularizing or triangulating, Probe. But in current versions of Blender, I can literally just press A to select everything, and then click. Where is it? It's in the edges, isn't it? Or is it in the faces? I think it's in the faces. Ah, yes. Triangulate faces. There we go. Everything has been triangulated now. And I don't know how reliable that is, but realistically speaking, it's easier than doing it by hand. I'll tell you that much. Anyway, I don't want to do that at the moment, to be fair, but because I may do editing later on. Okay. Goddamn, that looks dented and scuffed as hell. That's fine. That's probably intended. Okay, we've got bolt panels. I don't know what that is. I don't know why it's there. Are these symmetrical? Yes. Yes, they are. They are identically symmetrical. They don't need to be, but they are. Okay. Yeah, you don't know which way the triangles will go, but realistically, at that point, do you care? You know? Okay. That's got a massive dent in the corner. All right. Okay. So that's our junk doors. I may steal these little tabs and put them over our trim. That seems to be what the tabs are doing. They're just keeping the trim in place. It may very well be that the triangulating in Blender 5.2 is a lot better than the triangulating in Blender 2.7, since you are, what, 10 years behind on Blender 2.7? When did Blender 2.7 release? Oh, 2014. 12 years behind. Yeah, Blender 2.7 is 2014, so 12 years ago. Quite fair, but I am also very rusty at Blender these days, as I hardly do anything, but I will have to jump back in once I get my ass up and start my game dev. I mean, I wish you the best of luck with that, bro. The only reason I've jumped into Blender is because I looked at a project and I thought to myself, I can do that. And then I started doing it, and I was like, oh shit, this is a lot more work than I realized. Well, I'm committed now. So, yeah. To be fair, for only just now starting, it would say you are doing quite well indeed. Maybe. I learn faster and better if I'm actively doing a thing. If someone was to be like, oh, I want you to learn Blender, here's a tutorial. And I'd be like, okay, I guess, what am I doing? And they're like, oh, just do whatever. I'd be like, oh, well, I'm not going to do anything then. Because learning via tutorial, the information just goes in one ear out the other. It doesn't work for me. I have to be doing something that I want to do to learn the system. Because if I don't, nothing works. So I have to go in the deep end. Otherwise, nothing happens. If I'm like, oh yeah, I want to learn Blender and I want to make a donut, I'd be like, okay, I've made the donut, I'm leaving now. Whereas with a project like this, what I end up doing is going like, okay, I want to do this, and this is a massive undertaking. And I'll probably get about 20% of the way through and go, I'm really starting to regret choosing to do this. And then I'll come back the next day and go, but it hasn't beaten me yet! So, yeah. That's how I be, essentially. And to be fair, what you're seeing here is not everything that I've been working on. I have also been working on the bumpers. So we have the anti-radiation bumper, the electric resistance bumper, the magnet bumper, the junk bumper, and my absolute favorite, the armored bumper. Oh, yes. I love this one. I was looking at old cars and I was looking at old trains and I thought to myself, what if I put a snowplow on a car? So yeah. I really like this bumper. It's fun. It's very fun. And we also have the basic and absorbing bumpers. But those are situated in the middle of the car because, yeah, they're in here somewhere, I think. Yeah, the basic bumper is in here. You can just about see it, but it's back in the middle because that was when I was like, oh, I need to make sure that everything is centralized because that's how the game does it. And then I was like, actually, no, I don't. I don't need to make sure that everything's centralized because then my brain won't care. But yeah. Actually, you know what? Come here. You can be placed in the car position. I think that's right. Yeah. So that's the absorbing bumper. Yeah. And the basic bumper is probably my favorite-ish. Because the basic bumper is just the bumper the car came with, right? But because it's the bumper the car came with, it is also essentially the bumper that fits it best. Which is this one. So yeah, that's the car's basic bumper. It's very small, very thin. All the bumpers also add in the front radiator, because I feel like that's kind of how that would work for this car. Because that's what the station wagon does as well. Every bumper adds the radiator, or like the front cover for the radiator at the very least. And the radiator is you can see through it, so you know, little details. But yeah, I really like this bumper just because it's so sleek. It looks nice. And the back bumper as well does also exist, but I'm not going to move that around. I might need to later on, but I'm not that fussed at this point in time. There is a lurk redeem. We don't have a lurk command, bro, but there is a lurk redeem. There's a channel point redeem. Time for me to do some scrapping. Enjoy. Well, fair enough. Enjoy your scrap, my friend. Enjoy your scrap. Hey, there it is. Okay. We want to dent some doors. Actually, no, we don't. What we want to do is put the storage racks in. Because I need to think about those before I think about realistically much else. Now, if I can get away with it, I don't want to resize them. I think I can actually get away with not resizing them. All I need to do is have them attach into this section of the car. Because usually this is where the spare wheels would go. But I think I can relatively safely mount these pieces here and not have to worry. Yeah, I think I'll do that actually. I think that'll work. And we will generate a mirror on the y-axis so that the one on this side can be identical, as it should be. The one on this side we may have to do some adjustment on. But if I can attach it into the fender, maybe that won't be such an issue. We'll see. Okay. So, starting with this and that, we want to have this. Actually, what we want here is we need this to stay the same, but we need this to be aligned with that. So if we delete these little brackets, like that. And then this bar can be moved to there, rotated, and maybe scaled down a bit. Pop that to there. No, it... That's why I was moving this. And I don't think it should. I think the bonnet should be fine to open. Because it's gonna go like that. Because it opens from the center line. So... Actually, we can test that. Hood. Give me a Shift S cursor to selected. But edit mode. Let's go from from this point here because Shift S cursor to active. A. And let's see 3D cursor, rotate. That should be fine, actually. Yeah, that's fine. Oh dear. Well, honestly, that sounds like Twitch, being annoying, as usual. It will dip into this middle section, but admittedly, that's not quite on the right rotation point. Honestly, it should actually be fine. But yeah, no, that actually should work just fine. Surprisingly enough. Back to this. Alright. Let's grab these. And we'll also grab this. And we will move to there. Yeah, that's... no, hold on. I do want to rotate, actually. go. And then these. We will move forward and rotate. And that should do. Although, actually, I will move this so that it sort of mirrors the other edge is doing. And then, once that's done, we will grab this and move it slightly further into a better position. So, round about here, just so that it's slightly more visually appropriate. And then these edges. Okay, and we move this forward. Yes, but it is not doing that. So let's make sure it is grabbing that. Cool. Right, we will have that grab in and then scale down. Yeah, that should do. There we go. We have the forward racks added in. I feel like that works relatively well. Okay. And it means I haven't had to resize or reposition them too much. I haven't had to rotate them. I haven't had to do anything like that, which means that anything mounted to the racks, all I need to do is move it. I don't have to do anything else, which is a massive win for me. Ah, yes. It truly is. Okay. The back racks, we'll see. Okay. So, edit mode to object mode. We will apply the mirror. Re-enter edit mode. Steal away this side rack into its own little thing. This one goes to this. Control J. Edit mode on that. And delete. Cool. Honestly, that doesn't look too bad either. That looks pretty cool, all things considered. Okay. Now we need the back racks. Alright. Edit mode. Move. So these are going to go over this window, which is sort of what they do on the standard car. They need to not hit the door. And by the looks of it, they could just mount into the fenders. This needs to move down, though, visually. We can mount this into the fenders, and it'll just look like it's being cut through. That should be fine, I think. And again, as long as I don't have to resize or adjust any of the actual grid section, we should be fine. We should be flying high in actually bringing in any edge piece or any attachment piece. Any exterior attachment piece I should not need to touch, except the roof stuff, because the roof stuff has been resized slightly, so that does need to be adjusted. But everything else we should be fine on. Okay. We move this in, and we move it down. And we rotate it very slightly, I think. Okay, put that there. And then deselect this one. And then on the normals. No, that won't work. This has to go further in. Unless... Unless we move this in alignment. Yeah, that's going to poke through. That's fine. So we'll bring that to about there. And this can get deleted. We grab this edge. And we grab this. Oh, no. This edge. And move it in, and we move it up. And we make sure that that aligned so that it's all inside that section. Okay. Fine. That goes to there. That goes to there. And these ones connect to there. And thusly, we still maintain the same size while actually ending up in the place where we want to be, which I'm fine with. Okay. Now we just need to slide these points in. Okay. And that should be easy enough, because we can literally just do that. And there should be plenty of space in here for that mounting point. That doesn't look too bad. I'm pretty happy with that. Alright. Add modifier. Generate. Mirror on the y-axis. Return to object mode. Apply mirror. Edit mode. This side. Selection. Separation. And this goes to rear right. And then this gets deleted. Whee! And these are on dummy material, and I don't understand why. Okay. Cool. That is our storage racks in. Realistically, I shouldn't have to do anything, I think, to the storage racks other than get the right socketing points on for any stuff that is meant to go on a storage rack. So I mean, these two could probably go in a little further, but I don't realistically think that's necessary. Maybe it is necessary. But on the basics of the basics, with all storage racks unlocked, this is kind of what the car looks like. Huh. Oh, and apparently I have the radiation-resistant bumper on as well, for some reason. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this works. And I don't think I realistically want to change too much. Okay. So from here, I have 2 more bumpers to do. I need to do the variations on the panels and the doors. I need to... No, the jumpers are done. The Duke abilities are just gonna go on these already, so that's not important. In fact, I think I can just delete these. No, I'm not going to delete them. I'm going to leave them in, but I don't need to do anything with them. Lifesaver, automatic gearboxes, those are already adjusted. Energy, seat-mounted, side-mounted, roof-mounted. Side-mounted energy stuff I don't need to worry about, the lightning rods or anything like that. Yeah, no, I think realistically we're good. Huh. Feels weird. Okay. Storage-wise, those are saddlebags. They go on the things, so they don't need any adjustment. Storage for the wagon. That's the roof storage, and we've already altered that. So anything on the roof, if it's large enough... I mean, actually, I think the only roof stuff that we needed to alter was the storage racks, because the storage racks were a little weird. Everything else, I think we can just mount as and when needed. So, yeah, all we need to do from this point forward is variate for the doors and the panels, finish off the variations on the bumpers, and finish off the variations for the bumper abilities. Those are important. I don't know what the difference between the shield bracer and the shield impact is. Like, they look identical. And the main thing that we need to do for the abilities is just change the radiator on them, I think. And adjust the attachment points, of course, but... because I don't want to change too much about this. Oh god, this has a lot of wires, actually. This might need some careful adjustment. Lovely. Okay. Well, it's not impossible, it's just annoying. That's how it be. Hold on. Let's get rid of this weird radiator. Delete. That one might be a little more. Right. Delete vertices. Actually, maybe not as much of an issue as I thought it would be. Okay, well, oh boy. Right. Okay. That's not too bad, actually. Delete edges. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. I think we're good. So what we'll need to do for this... Oy. We'll need to move this. So we'll need to add in a bunch of cables, because this probably needs to link into the engine. This needs to pop to the radiator, so we're going to need to move that as well. And yeah, no, we need to move it. We need to move a couple of things around. And God, there's so many cables. All right. Yeah. I think I will scale it down a little as well. I've been scaling everything down a little bit. Maybe not that far. Yeah, about that much. Just so that it looks like it fits the car a little better. Okay. It's going to be interesting. So many cables. Alright. Let's take a look at what the back version of this looks like. The rear version. Okay. Rotate 180 degrees. Slide to the back. Oh, okay. Scale down by 0.1. Right. Calming. I mean, we can mount it there. But a lot of this is going to have to get moved, because that coincides with the boot. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, but just, again, so many cables. I don't know which bumper is the correct one for the limb shield. Is it the impact or is it the bracer? Who the fuck knows, apparently. I don't. Are they different? Are they the same? Is one slightly upgraded? I don't know. Okay. This is going to take a bit of annoying just fiddling to get that to work with the car. Which isn't impossible, it's just irritating. Is there anything on the interior that I need to do? Yes, there is. We need to make the gobbler fit. And if you're wondering what the gobbler is, well, it's this mess. Which is just horrific. I don't know where even half of this goes. What is even all this? What are these? They're an armature. I understand that, but... Ah! Okay. And some stuff still hasn't been adjusted to fit. But actually, this stuff doesn't need to be adjusted too much. So I think I can just... disappear all that stuff. Edit mode. Alright. Golden Gobbler. Just about there. Slides along to about here. Drops. To about there, I think. Using various bits and pieces as guidance points. Yeah, okay. And that links into... What does it link into? A weird little box, which I don't know where that's meant to go. I think we're meant to go over this way a little. I think I can twizzle that round a little bit. And this, which is meant to hook into the dashboard, but will have to go somewhere else because there ain't no dashboard that fits it anymore. Oh, God. All right. Hide that. Nope. Hide this? Yes. Okay. do we have to work with here? Whatever this is. We can raise this, I think. But then it starts poking through the windshield. What we could do is we could mount it to the door. But no, then that needs to open, so that doesn't work. What we can do is we can mount it to the ceiling. Yes, that I can live with. Alright. We are mounting whatever this thing is to the ceiling. Can I get rid of this cable while we're moving this around? Yes. Okay. Rotate 180 degrees. Spin 90. Move. And slot this into here. Like that. That should, realistically speaking, fit just fine. We will need to redo this cable though. That's fine. I can live with that. Okay. This thing, let's just spin it. Spin it 180. And move it inwards. We can move it backwards as well. Put it in here. Actually, I mean, it needs, does it need to be? Now we can put it up on the ceiling as well. Alright. Give me 90 degrees. Move it up. Spin it. Another 90. And that can live there. And I can live with that. Then we can just have a cable that pops out and links into here. I do not mind that in the slightest. Now, where is this cable going? It just disappears. I assume it's meant to disappear into here. Okay, can we make that happen with our current situation? I believe we can. Let's just ensure. C. There. And move you back. Nope, that doesn't work. Okay. Does it matter if it goes into there exactly? No. This is already all out of whack anyway. So as long as this fits around this weird camera situation that we have here, I don't think it's gonna be a problem. Okay. We have the Dr. Gobbler thing. I think that's fine to just have on the floor there like that. I don't think that makes a major difference. Okay. Oops. Okay. That cable I will deal with later, I think. Yeah. I don't mind some things just looking weird. Realistically, you're not going to see them all that much, so it's fine. Probably. Okay. Ah. Ouchie. Ooh. Okay. Yep. Ah. Right. Okay. If we... I want to make sure that everything is ready. We still need the hinges on the boot. That's something we need to do. And what else do we need? Uncertain. Trying to think. And I'm I think we're good. I don't know. What am I missing? Am I missing anything? Is there anything missing? I don't think there is. The radio we can't do anything with, really. We've already done the intro variant of the car. I don't know where the fuel can's gone. I don't even know if that's a thing. I know it's a thing for the intro car, but, well... We've already done all the headlights. Bobbleheads. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I think we're good to just add the hinges to the boot and then I feel like I'm missing something and I don't know what it is. We've already done all the trunk items. No, I don't think there's anything else. I think it's just add the hinges to the boot. And then we're good to go. Okay. Alright. Fine. Fine. We'll add the hinges to the boot. And then we're good to go. So for that, we're gonna need some hinges. Let's grab these ones. These ones look about right. Object mode, edit mode, L, Shift D, P. Okay. Actually, we didn't even need to do that. We just need to move them. I hope that I moved the copy. Yes, I did. Okay. Rotate 90 degrees. And let's move these into place. We will need to rotate these about 5 degrees and scale them down. All right. Oh, well. Okay. These need to be a little closer together. Okay. We rotate. And move. And that gives us our first hinge section. There we go. Then we $50 and S X minus 1, SC minus 1, SY. And we will pop this into the middle here. Delete this one on the side. we go. And then grab this and move that end back in. Okay, this can be divided out. And realistically, nobody's going to look close enough at that hinge point to give a damn as to whether or not that hinge point has an actual connection. This needs to go down into the steel trunk. Wait, did that? Oh, no. That went down into that part. Oopsie. There we go. Okay, cool. We have the hinge. It doesn't look like much, but who is going to be that? Who's going to care that much? You know? I'm too hot to care at the moment. It's so bloody warm. Alright. Okay. I am realizing that I'm starting to get very antsy because of the heat. And I don't know that I'm willing to keep going on this project in this heat. So I think this is a good point to call it, everyone, because my brain is frying. And I'm not happy about that. So, yeah, we're gonna call it an evening. Thank you all very much for joining. It's getting there. It needs, there's a substantial amount of work still to do, but it is getting there. We've done most of the base modeling. I'm happy with it. We're going to go and raid, fuck. Who's live? Let's go raid Azilla. Zilla is doing tarot. Thank you all very much for joining us this evening, everyone. I hope you had fun. We will be back, on Monday with some Hell Is Us. Thank you all very much for joining. Have a very good evening and a very good night, and we shall see you all next time.